Or, well, the White House is still upset. My God, these guys are like my mother-in-law. Let it go. Kidding, of course. But there is no kidding when it comes to this White House refusing to let bygones be bygones when it comes to Benjamin Netanyahu, now blasting the Israeli prime minister for dragging his feet on a Palestinian state, dissing Arabs who call Israel home, and to complete this hat trick of tedious attacks, the White House quietly ginning up reports that Israel spied on those Iran nuke talks. Now, Israel says that simply did not happen, but I clearly see what is happening. A president whose nose is still out of joint and refuses to just shut up and move on. Because is it me, or does the White House have this whole tip thing backwards? Cavuto alert for you guys. In case you didn't hear, ISIS, Al-Qaeda, and Boko Haram are doing joint terror exercises. And you're bitching about Bibi? Really? Let's just say, Israel really did spy on our talks with Iran. Frankly, could you blame them? I mean, they're kind of in the neighborhood. No, scratch it. They are in the neighborhood and kind of have a vested interest in this whole Iran deal and how it turns out. After all, we can harumph all we want about a deal that might make sense to us. Israel's within an easy missile shot if it does not. That's what they call literally having skin in the game. So, Mr. President, save the lectures for the Iranians who need them and not the Israelis who are doing their damnedest not to get obliterated by them. Because maybe it's just me, again, but you happily went over leaders' heads in Iran to sell your Spiel for a deal. So don't get all high and mighty when Israel goes over yours. After all, they have good reason to fear you screwing up. They're dead if you do. Now, you could just retire after all of this and make speeches, whether you do or do not. All right, columnist extraordinaire, this guy, gifted writer and thinker, John Podhoretz, on that and the scandal, the administration, and the ongoing tiff, my God, let it go.
Well, look, if Israel says it did not spy on the talks, that is entirely plausible. That is to say, from us.
Right.
There are 6 nations in the talks. We know at least that the French are very skeptical about them. It's a lot of points of echo, a lot of places to find out information.
We lecturing anyone on spying is a bit rich.
Now, and the other thing is, Israel is not spying to get commercial advantage. It is not spying on us in order to find out things about what we're doing so that they can get military information. They are trying to find out what is going to happen with the Iranian nuclear program and what kinds of concessions we are going to make in that regard. In that sense, it is entirely in their national interest. They have to know. And the Wall Street Journal story that created this kerfuffle today makes it very clear that the administration is less upset that Israel spied on the United States than that the Israelis gave information about the talks to members of Congress whom the administration are desperately trying to keep out of the loop. Because the administration has a 3-pronged idea. Don't tell Congress. Don't let Congress vote on the deal and make the deal stick until after he leaves office. All 3 on an international deal involving matters that Congress has legislated on, sanctions that Congress has passed, and the future security of the United States with a
valid on each and every point, John. My only issue is whatever your beef with Netanyahu, first of all, keep it private. When the president relayed what he told Netanyahu over a phone call, I thought that was pretty weird to do.
Right, but
it's happening again and again and again.
Right, but I think this is a false flag. I think this is an act of misdirection. The president is focusing his ire on Netanyahu, trying to make it a Bibi versus Barak fight in order to distract the nation's attention from the coming Iranian nuclear deal. He wants less attention on that. He wants Congress to pay less attention.
Are you kidding?
To what is going on, and he wants them to pay more attention. You're giving him far too much
credit. Now, he's cunning, but I don't know that cunning. But you know, you've studied this for years. Here's what I fear is going on, though. I think he is trying now to get maybe a Nobel Peace Prize going, or even Mitt Romney says that any deal, a bad deal, would be, you know, sort of very nice for the administration, very nice for Hillary Clinton, and that's their interest here.
But remember, Congress, there are 2 different potential pieces of legislation Congress is thinking about enacting right now, next week, as early as next week, in relation to Iran and the coming deal. The president is trying, I believe, and the White House wants less attention on the deal and more attention on the notion.
That must tell you that it's got to be a bad deal.
Well, of course it's a bad deal.
So why are they so hot to trot to do it?
Because they believe that They believe that bringing Iran into, under some kind of aegis of an agreement is a safer thing than Iran being outside
well,
the
so did
tent.
Neville Chamberlain think that without of Hitler.
Well, that would be the analogy that I would like to draw. But I mean, in their defense, or to try to lay out their argument would be that this is a way of bringing Iran into the community of nations, giving them a stake, giving them a quid pro quo, lessening of sanctions.
Tit for tat with Bibi is just theater.
Well, no, he hates Bibi. Don't get me wrong. He hates him, and he loathes him, and he despises him. But it's useful because it changes the subject as the negotiations go down to the wire.
Wow. All right. John, we shall see. Always good seeing you.
Pleasure.
In the meantime, here's